everyone, listen ready for our story. It's Style Story Time with Chesley and Karen. That's right. And we got somebody else here today. Yes, we do. Our puppy, George, is here with our puppy, so we want you to see him again. So George will get here with our puppy. This is Wenzel. Ooh, hi, Wenzel. How are you doing, Wenzel? Well, Wenzel is not familiar with this. He doesn't know what's going on, but we want you to see him again. He's a little scared, so he's got his ears down. He's better now if he can chew on something or smell on something. All right, so you get to see Wenzel. It's not a real good picture, but there is Wenzel Cub. Like I said, his ears are down. He doesn't normally look like that. I tell you what, he's pretty good kid. Yep, he's a pretty good kid. He prowls all night. Yes, he prowls all night. He steals the shoes, our house shoes, and anything else he can get his hands on. And he vandalizes. Yes, he tears up things too. So we do have to watch that. Anything that's like a piece of paper, if you don't want it chewed on, that's his signature. That's his signature. That's right. Well, anyway, we're glad to have Wenzel with us, and George is over there, of course, with him. And we have Pixie over here, and she's another one of them dogs. Yeah, she's a pug. She's a black pug. And sometimes she snores. Oh, yeah, didn't that sound terrible? Well, but that's just a pug. That's what they do. She's in the house, and she snores on occasion. So if they hear snoring, they're going to know. It's not Georgie Porgy. No, it's not Georgie Porgy. It is Pixie. Chesley, it's Bible story time. Oh, this gospel train is chugging at the track. Chugging at the track, it's chugging at the track. This gospel train is chugging at the track. Chugging to the glory land. Yes, it is. We're chugging to the glory land. And who can go? Oh, get on board this gospel train. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Get on board this gospel train. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Well, I think glory's going to see Jesus. That's right. In the glory land, we see Jesus. Gonna see Jesus. Gonna see Jesus. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Gonna see Jesus. Yes, I am. Up in the glory land. That's right. We're going to see Jesus in the glory land. So we want everybody to get on board this gospel train. They just ask Jesus to come into their life. Ask Jesus. That's it. Come into your life. You love him. You want to serve him all the days of your life. And you'll be blessed. We'll be blessed. That's right. And we'll be able to work for him and do good things. And you need to be obedient. Oh, yes, be obedient. Do the right things. That's a nice thing to do. Just do the right things, like obeying your parents and getting your school lessons and all. And even if you're not in school, whether you're in school or not, just do the right thing. It pleases the Lord, and it makes your life much happier. I found that out when I was growing up. If I was obedient, did you try to do it? Oh, I did. I tried to be obedient because I knew it pleased the Lord. It made it easier for you. Oh, yes, it made it much easier on me. If you disobey, I found out it wasn't always pleasant. So, Chesley, let's get into our story today. And it's down in the Old Testament. This is in 2 Kings. Chesley, this is from 2 Kings. That's right, chapter 7. And there was the country, this place, Samaria, was surrounded by an enemy army. Oh, what had happened? Well, you know what? There was this country. Not the people that had been disobedient. They were coming against, they just hated Elisha because they thought, who was he? He was the prophet, he was the man of God. And they just hated it when he spoke because they said, he's the cause of this famine that's in our land. And they found out where he was, and they just surrounded the place, and they wouldn't let any food or water come into the place. Oh, it's just awful. And they was blaming that one man. Yes, they blamed him. They said, it's him, and he's in tune with this God that we can't see. Is the one true God. And they said, he's the cause of this. And they was blaming that man. They was blaming him. They said, what we're going to do, he's in that city, and why don't you just go get him? They couldn't get him. God was protecting him, and they said, we're going to surround this whole place. We're not going to let food and water get in. No, they're going to starve those people. There's easy impossible. It's just so cruel. He needs to just come out. No, he didn't just come out. He told everybody, you just listen to me. He said, I've heard from heaven. I've heard from God, and I have good news for you. You know, what is this good news? They're down to starve. They're starving, and they can't get in. Nobody can get in to bring food. Nobody can get out to go get food. And so it seems impossible. There's no way. They even tried. They tried to get to Elisha, but God protected him. But Chesley, Elisha said, I have a word from God. Here's what it is. He said, about this time tomorrow, he said, there's going to be plenty of food. And how does he know that? Why did he say that? Because he was God's man. He'd been trusting in God, and God spoke those words into his heart. And he was a prophet. He was a prophet of God. And what does that mean? God talked to him, and he told him what to tell the people. And no, that's what he said. About this time tomorrow, there's going to be plenty of food and water. It's going to be great. And the people believed him? I think that most of the people did, but one man in particular did not. In fact, here's what he said. What did he say? He was one of the king's choice servants. And he said, even if God opened the windows of heaven, that couldn't happen. Oh, he was doubting God. He was doubting God. Oh, you don't do that. I don't think he did the right thing. He didn't do the right thing. I think he better take it back. He didn't take it back. He was looking at what was in the natural. It was impossible. But Elisha trusted God. And why did he trust God? He seen miracles. Elisha had seen miracles. Now, I'll tell you what, Chesley, he had been a person that he had studied under. He had walked along with Elijah. I mean, he was a great man of God. He was a great prophet of God. God had used him. And so Elijah had him train him. So they'd walk together. And so Elisha, he had seen miracles. He had seen all kinds of miracles. Even somebody would be raised from the dead. He'd seen all kinds of wonderful things. And now Elisha himself has seen a miracle. And like, what did he see? Chesley, there was this one time, there was this man, they had gone out and they was cutting down some trees, and this one fellow, he had borrowed an axe. And while he was working out there and they was cutting down these trees, the axe handle flew off. And it killed someone. No, it didn't fly off and kill somebody, but there it flew off into the water. Oh my. And so it's out in some kind of a lake. Something. How could he find it? No, it's just impossible. What's he going to do now? Well, Elisha didn't get worried about it. He knew how important it was that this man he needed to return that axe. He knew that. And so he helped him. He told him he trusted God. You know, God used him. And when God did miracles, it wasn't to show off. It was to show his love and care and how powerful, too, that he was. He cared. He cared for people. He cared for their needs. He saw him and he helped him. And what happened, Elisha said, throw a stick in the water. And he threw a stick in the water. And what good is it going to do? Is a dog going to go get it? No dog's going to go get it. That axe head began to float. It floated to the top. No! I never did hear of it. I never heard of it either. But Chesley, it was such a miracle. Now, here is this situation. Well, it's a way different. I know it's a way different. But Elisha had faith. And he said, God spoke this to me. It wasn't just me talking, but God said it, and it's going to happen. Well, that servant said, even if God opened the windows of heaven, it'll never happen. Here's what Elisha said. Tell you what, it's going to happen, but you will never see it. Oh, no, he's kind of scared. Yeah, so what's going to happen? How's it going to happen? How's it going to happen? They're going to get fed? How are they going to have food? Did you know there was 4 leprous men? I mean, what's those guys? They have this horrible disease called leprosy. There is no cure. And Chesley, they had to be beggars themselves. They was at the mercy of people to feed them. And because it was a bad disease. It was very bad. It was a very contagious disease. And so you didn't want to be around other people. And they would have to stand away and they'd have to cry out, unclean, unclean, don't come near, I'm unclean. They need to take it down? No, they didn't need a bath, Chesley, but they had that disease, and it made them what was called unclean. Nobody wanted to be around them and get that disease. But anyway, Chesley, as they were waiting there, all of a sudden they said, you know what? There's 4 of us here. We don't have any hope or any help because they can't get anything from that city. They can't get anything from that city that's been surrounded. And he said, there's nothing we can do. We're in just bad shape. I guess we can just go to this opposing army, the Syrian army, and we can beg for something. No, they're going to get themselves killed. Well, what they said, well, if they kill us, we're dying anyway with this incurable disease. So let's just go. Let's just take a chance. And they got up there. Would you believe nobody was there? What do you mean nobody was there? Chesley, they had heard a sound in the night, and they thought an opposing army, a huge army, it sounded like a multitude was coming, and they got scared and ran. They got scared and ran. I thought there was an army they're supposed to fight. They thought they didn't have a chance. You know why this happened, Chesley, that sound? I think it was God. It was God had intervened in such an unusual way, and they heard this noise and had left. They left everything. Oh, I know what happened. They left the food, they left the water, they left everything. They left their animals. They left everything. It was unbelievable. All of this food. In the natural, it was unbelievable. It was going through this. Now, what are they going to do? Well, they began to eat first. They were so hungry themselves. And they began to see some of these wonderful other items that were valuable. And so they hid it. The Bible said they hid them. And they thought, oh, wow, we won't say anything about this. This is our treasure that we have found. But then one of them said, this is not very good. Yeah, I think it's not very good because there's some hungry people there. There were some very hungry people there in the city. And they said, we need to let them know. Nobody wants to see them because they're scared of them. I know people were scared of the lepers, but yet from a distance they could call out and say, we have good news for you. Oh, there's been an answer. God has answered. Oh, and the king said, I don't believe it. No, he said he didn't believe God. He didn't believe God. He didn't know how it could be. But they said, this is what happened. And they began to tell him, we went down. Just thought we'd take a chance. They might throw us some scraps or something. And said, nobody is there. And the king said, nah, it's a trick. It's just a trick. So they said, well, let's just check it out. And so they sent a few there to check it out. And sure enough, oh, there was food, there was Dutchie's honey, there was clothes, there was food, there was water. It was everything. They had probably just left on their animal the others that they had left behind, that nobody was going to be riding. There was maybe work animals, but they were left behind. So here they had all of this provision, and it's just like God had said, just like God had told Elisha the prophet. I don't think Elisha said, oh, I was hoping that come true. If it didn't, I was going to fix. No, he knew God would do it. He had seen God answer prayer before. And so now word went out. There's plenty of provision. It is wonderful. And there was food plenty. I mean, it was outstanding. And that, you know, that man that had said, even if God would open the windows of heaven, it wouldn't happen. Would you believe that that is the very man that the king, he said to him, oh, I need you to be the one. It's a gatekeeper. As the people come in and they get their provision. And so he gets to be there and he's going to see it. He is the one going to get to see it. But you know, Chesley, as all these people were so hungry and they were so excited, and they didn't want to get left out. That's right. They did not want to get left out. They wanted their provision and they ran and they literally trampled that man to death. No! Oh, you know, what was it that prophet said? He had said, when he doubted, when he said that, I don't believe it. The prophet had said, you will see it, but you will never eat. No, you know what? He was trampled by unbelief. Trampled by unbelief. Unbelief is a very dangerous thing. We must believe God. Now we want to make sure we've heard from God. God's word is true. We can read the Bible and see truth. And so we're thankful for that we have that example. And Chesley, I want to believe God. Now, I don't believe everything that everybody says, but God still uses people today. But in this particular lesson, let's see this. This was a proven man of God. But this fellow had decided it seemed impossible. It just seemed impossible, so he didn't believe it. He didn't believe it, and it cost him his life. I wonder about his family. I wonder if he was the one that was supposed to take care of them. Well, we don't know what happened to them, but Chesley, you know who we can take care of? Ourselves. No, we can't do it. What other people decisions they make? That's it. Our decisions are very important. We want to believe God. We don't want to doubt. Don't doubt. Trust. Put your faith and trust in God. When He speaks, He's going to do it. It may not be the time you think, when you think, like you think He's going to do it, but we need to thank Him when He tells us something, when in His Word, what He's told us, we thank Him and we appreciate. And Chesley, it is time for you to go. Don't even say, I forgot something. You forgot something? What was that? I forgot to tell the girls I love them. Well, Chesley, I know that you do love the girls, and I need to wink at them. Well, okay, you did your wink job. So, okay, Chesley, I think it's time for you to go to bed, tell everybody goodbye, and you're so happy you could be here to give them a Bible story. And next week, next week you're coming back, so we'll see everybody then. You be blessed, and you have a great rest of the day. Worship the Lord, be faithful, and honor Him, boys and girls. Where's Wenzel? Wenzel is right over there in his dad's lap where he belongs. And we have Pixie over here, and she's just kind of resting, looking at him. But right now, what you're doing, I think, is stalling. Oh, you always figure me out. No, it doesn't work. And there's a skunk in the trunk, Chesley. No skunk in the trunk. We'll see you next week, Chesley. You have a great weekend yourself. Stuffed in the trunk? I don't see how. Chesley, we'll see you. You be blessed. We love you. See you next time.